Rejection hurts. It doesn't matter how confident you are. When a woman rejects you, it stings. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. In fact, it's the perfect opportunity for you to level up. Instead of chasing after her, begging for another chance, or trying to prove your worth, you need to take a different approach. When a woman rejects you, the worst thing you can do is to act desperate. Women can sense desperation from a mile away, and it's a huge turnoff. What's the better move? Start ignoring her, not out of spite, but because it repositions you in her mind. Women want what they can't have. By showing her that you don't need her, you're making her realize your value. You see, the modern dating world is different. No one is going to wait around forever. And if a woman rejects you, she's already made a decision. But that doesn't mean she's entirely out of the picture. Ignoring her doesn't just get her attention, it also sets the tone for how you value yourself. It makes her question if she's made the right choice. And often it brings her back. This strategy isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about standing your ground and showing that you have a life outside of her. That's the type of energy women are attracted to. You're not going to beg her for her time or affection. Instead, you'll demonstrate that you're too valuable to chase after someone who isn't interested. So if you've been rejected, it's time to turn the tables. Let me show you how to respond when a woman rejects you by simply starting to ignore her. 1. Stop chasing, start living. When a woman rejects you, the immediate reaction is often to chase after her. You might think, if I just show her I'm the right guy, she'll change her mind. That's the exact mistake most men make. The truth is, this only pushes her further away. Chasing shows weakness. It signals that you're emotionally invested in someone who doesn't feel the same, which only reinforces her decision to reject you. Instead of running after her, shift your focus back to your own life. Start living for yourself, not for her. This doesn't mean you should forget about the interaction, but it means you don't let it define you. When you put your energy into improving yourself, building your career, developing your hobbies, or strengthening your social circles, you become the man women can't ignore. This strategy is about regaining control. When you stop chasing, you signal to her that your value doesn't depend on her validation. You've got your own life, and that's what makes you attractive. Women want to see that you're not emotionally dependent on them, and the best way to show that is by living your life with purpose and passion, whether they're in it or not. In the modern dating world, women are drawn to men who are focused on their own goals and who can live without constant reassurance. By shifting the focus to yourself, you're showing her that you're someone she can't easily walk all over. You're a man with options, not someone who's hanging around hoping she'll change her mind. If you get rejected and continue chasing her, you're just putting yourself in a position of weakness. When you start living for yourself, you make it clear that you have higher standards. It might sting at first, but this is how you turn rejection into an opportunity for growth. Women don't want to feel like they're the only thing in your life. They want to feel like they're one of many exciting things that make you who you are. The key is not to be consumed by the rejection, but to use it as fuel to become the best version of yourself. Focus on being the man who is always on the move, always progressing, always becoming. When she sees that you're not waiting around for her, it will flip the power dynamic. Now, you're the one who gets to decide whether she's worthy of your time and attention, not the other way around. This is the mindset that will keep you from getting stuck in the cycle of rejection and emotional dependency. Remember, when a woman rejects you, it's not the end. It's just a signal that you need to step up your game, move forward with your life, and show her that you're someone worth pursuing. Not because you're chasing her, but because you're too valuable to be ignored. When you stop chasing, you make space for something much better, both for yourself and for any woman who's actually interested in you. 2. Build emotional independence. Rejection can make you feel like you've lost something, but what you're really losing is a chance to continue investing in someone who wasn't invested in you. This is where emotional independence comes into play. It's time to stop letting your emotional state depend on how she feels about you. When you're emotionally independent, your happiness and self-worth aren't tied to a woman's approval or rejection. This is crucial for turning the tables after rejection. A man who is emotionally independent has a clear understanding of his value, regardless of external validation. He knows that his worth doesn't hinge on any single interaction, whether positive or negative. Emotional independence allows you to navigate rejection with a level-headed approach, instead of spiraling into a pit of self-doubt or desperation. You realize that her rejection doesn't define who you are as a man. In practice, emotional independence means taking a step back and focusing on your internal world. It's about finding joy, confidence, and peace within yourself rather than seeking it from others. A woman's rejection is a signal for you to redirect your energy inward and strengthen your own emotional foundation. This could mean engaging in activities that fuel your passions, spending time with people who support you, or even learning something new that challenges you. The key is to create a life that is rich in meaning without relying on external sources of validation. When you stop seeking emotional validation from women, you begin to operate from a place of strength. Women, especially in the modern dating scene, are drawn to men who are emotionally stable, not those who are constantly seeking reassurance. Emotional independence makes you more attractive because it shows that you are secure in who you are, regardless of the outcome of any relationship. This doesn't mean you should become cold or indifferent to emotions. It simply means you should develop the strength to not be controlled by them. Rejection hurts, but it doesn't have to ruin your day, your week, or your self-esteem. Emotional independence allows you to experience rejection without letting it break you. Instead, you'll see it as just a minor setback in a much larger journey of personal growth and improvement. Women notice when you're emotionally independent. It's a magnetic quality because it demonstrates that you have a life beyond them. You're not clinging to the idea of being with them, and that is what sparks attraction. Emotional independence shows that you're not desperate. You're a man who has his own life, his own interests, and his own goals. You're someone who can stand on his own 2 feet and navigate the ups and downs of life without losing his sense of self. When she sees that you're not emotionally dependent on her, she'll start to view you in a new light. Her rejection may have been just a moment in time, but your emotional independence will make her question whether she made the right choice. Ultimately, this sets the stage for you to regain your power, not by chasing after her, but by becoming the man who's emotionally free and secure, regardless of what's happening with her. That's how you turn rejection into respect, and ultimately, attraction. 3. Master the art of disappearing. One of the most powerful tactics you can use after being rejected is to disappear. Not because you're trying to play games, but because your absence will do more for you than any amount of pleading, begging, or explaining ever could. When you disappear, you remove yourself from the equation entirely, and that's when the real magic happens. Women, just like men, are naturally attracted to what they can't have. The more you chase after her, the less she will appreciate your efforts. But when you make yourself scarce, you force her to question her own decision. She's now left with the thought, where did he go? The key here is to understand that the less you are available, the more you become desirable. Now, disappearing doesn't mean cutting all ties or disappearing from the world. It means pulling back your energy, stepping away from constant contact, and giving her space to miss you. When she realizes you're not always available, it forces her to confront the fact that you don't need her to feel validated. You're the kind of man who is too busy living his life to chase after someone who doesn't value him. In a world where constant communication is the norm, disappearing can have a profound effect. It might sound counterintuitive, but the truth is, women are not used to men just stepping away. They're used to men trying to fix things or persistently seeking attention. When you break this pattern, you stand out. You show that you have options and you don't need her in your life to feel complete. This tactic also works because it forces her to feel the absence of your presence. It creates a void, and people naturally want to fill that void. The more she experiences your absence, the more she'll start to question her decision. The silence will speak volumes. She'll wonder if she made a mistake, and that uncertainty is what will begin to work in your favor. But here's the catch. You cannot go back and forth. You can't disappear and then show up again like nothing happened. The key is consistency. When you choose to disappear, commit to it. Don't play the game of will he or won't he text, because that's where you fall into manipulation tactics. Instead, let your absence be a sign of your own self-respect and confidence. It tells her that you're not waiting around for her to change her mind. You have your own life, and if she wants to be a part of it, she knows where to find you. Remember, disappearing is not about being immature or holding grudges. It's about understanding your own worth. You don't have to chase or convince anyone to value you. When you start practicing this tactic, you will begin to see how powerful it is to step back and allow her to come to you. The more you value yourself, the more others, including women, will value you. Ultimately, the art of disappearing works because it flips the script. Instead of being the one who is always available, you become the one who is a mystery. This intrigue can lead her to realize that you're not someone she can easily let go of. You'll become the man who was too busy living his life to care about her rejection. And that, my friend, is an incredibly powerful position to be in. 4. Focus on self-improvement. After facing rejection, one of the best responses you can have is to focus on self-improvement. Instead of dwelling on what didn't work out, use the rejection as fuel to become a better version of yourself. Rejection can sting, but it doesn't define you. What you choose to do afterward is what really matters. The truth is, the best revenge isn't getting back at her. It's becoming the man who is even more attractive, more accomplished, and more confident than he was before. Focusing on self-improvement means taking time to invest in yourself in ways that will elevate your life. This could mean hitting the gym and getting in better shape, working on your career goals, learning new skills, or simply refining your personal mindset. It's about looking at the areas of your life where you can grow and making consistent efforts to level up. When you take rejection and turn it into motivation to improve, you're sending a powerful message. Not just to the woman who rejected you, but to everyone around you. You're saying, I am not defined by this moment. I am moving forward. Women are naturally attracted to men who are constantly growing and evolving. When you focus on self-improvement, you raise your value. It's not just about your looks or your career. It's about the energy you bring into the world. A man who is always striving to be better, who is continually challenging himself, is a man that women notice. And this doesn't mean trying to impress her by improving for her. It's about improving for yourself, because you deserve to be the best version of yourself, regardless of who's watching. Self-improvement also builds confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. The more you work on yourself, the more confident you become in your abilities and who you are. When you're genuinely confident, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You know your worth, and that's magnetic. Women are drawn to men who carry themselves with this quiet confidence. Men who don't need validation because they already know their value. Another benefit of focusing on self-improvement is that it gives you something productive to do after rejection. Instead of spending days wallowing in disappointment or chasing after her, you're channeling that energy into something that will actually benefit you in the long run. Whether you're building your body, your career, or your mind, these are things that will always pay off. Rejection becomes just another stepping stone on your path to success. The beauty of focusing on self-improvement is that it's never a waste of time. Even if this particular woman doesn't come back around, you're still winning. You're becoming a better version of yourself. And that will make you more attractive to others in the future. Plus, when she sees the changes you've made, it may very well spark her interest again. Women are often attracted to men who aren't afraid to challenge themselves and who are always striving to be the best. Self-improvement is not just about achieving goals, it's about setting a standard for yourself that you won't let others lower. It's about valuing yourself enough to invest in your future and never allowing rejection to hold you back. Focus on becoming the man who never stops growing, and you'll become the kind of man that no woman can easily forget. So, take the rejection and turn it into something powerful. Use it as the catalyst for growth and watch how it changes the way you see yourself and the way others see you. Self-improvement will not only make you more attractive, but it will also make you a man who knows his worth, whether or not anyone else recognizes it right away. 5. Let go of the outcome. One of the most powerful shifts you can make after rejection is to let go of the outcome. Too often, men get caught up in trying to control whether a woman will like them or not. They invest so much energy into trying to secure a specific result, whether it's getting her back, changing her mind, or making her feel something for them. The truth is, when you let go of the outcome, you free yourself from unnecessary stress, anxiety, and disappointment. When a woman rejects you, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you need to win her over, that you need to prove yourself or work harder to make things right. But here's the secret. You can't control how someone else feels. And the more you try to control the situation, the less attractive you become. Women don't want a man who is desperately trying to manipulate or force them into liking him. They want a man who is secure, who can walk away and still be confident in himself, no matter the outcome. Letting go of the outcome means releasing your attachment to any specific result and trusting that whatever happens is what's meant to happen. If she doesn't want you, that's her decision, and it doesn't diminish your value as a man. When you let go of the need for approval or validation from others, you regain control over your own life and your own feelings. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's emotions. You become the man who is comfortable in his own skin, no matter who does or doesn't want to be around. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about relationships or that you should become indifferent to others. It simply means that you should stop basing your self-worth on the outcome of your interactions with women. When you stop obsessing over a particular result, you free yourself from the mental and emotional burden of rejection. You can move forward, knowing that rejection is just a small part of the larger picture of your life. When you let go of the outcome, you also stop chasing after someone who isn't interested. The desperate need for validation fades, and with it, the pressure you put on yourself to win her over. You begin to understand that relationships are not about forcing someone to like you, but about finding mutual compatibility and respect. If that's not present, it's time to move on and focus on what truly matters, your own growth and happiness. Moreover, letting go of the outcome helps you remain attractive to women. When you stop trying to control the situation, you give off an aura of confidence and freedom. Women are naturally drawn to men who are self-assured and who don't feel the need to prove themselves. A man who lets go of the outcome becomes more charismatic because he's not looking for anything from anyone. He's already whole. This mindset shift is not about becoming emotionally cold or detached. It's about accepting that you cannot control how someone feels. And instead of trying to force a result, you focus on yourself. This is the ultimate form of emotional strength, the ability to walk away from a situation, whether it's a woman or any other challenge, and trust that life will unfold as it should. When you truly let go of the outcome, you make space for better opportunities and healthier relationships, ones that are based on mutual respect and understanding, not manipulation or desperation. So the next time a woman rejects you, remind yourself that it's just part of the journey. Let go of the need to make her like you and focus on being the best version of yourself. Trust that what's meant for you will come to you, and that real success doesn't come from chasing after what you can't have. It comes from focusing on your own growth and letting life flow naturally.